Hello, this is Nathan. I'm one of the trainers at Snap, and today I'm going to be taking you through the questionnaire design element of Snap XMP. In this first session, we're going to be setting up a short survey on visitors to a conference and their experience on the journey to the venue. It's made up of just 6 questions, but it does cover a range of the various types of questions available in Snap. We'll be using 2 components of Snap XMP today. Snap Desktop, where I'll be designing the survey, and then Snap Online, where I'll be making the survey live. So let's take you straight into Snap Desktop. The first thing we're going to do is just check to make sure that we're logged in. This will ensure that everything we do in Snap Desktop is synchronized to our Snap Online account. I'm going to be creating a new survey in my tutorials folder. I can either click on the single plus to create a new survey, or if I right click, we're presented with a number of additional options as well. Initially, we're presented with different templates to choose from. These templates are provided by Snap. Alternatively, you can create your own templates, and these templates can be shared with colleagues and clients. But today, I'm going to make use of the blank template. I press OK to begin. That will take me into the questionnaire design window. As we chose the blank template, we're simply presented with a placeholder for the logo and survey title. So before we do anything else, I will click on the placeholder and replace that with my company logo. Do be sure to make use of the alt text. This is the text that pops up if you hover over the image, and it's an important accessibility consideration. My title will be today's journey to the conference. I'll press enter to move on to the next part. I'm not going to have a subtitle today, so instead I will drop down the menu and go to my first question style, which will today be a multi-choice question. The question text will be, how did you get here today? And if I hold down my shift key and press enter, that will take me on to the next line. I'm going to add some additional text. And just whilst I'm here, I'm going to highlight that additional text and just remove the bold. To add the answer codes, simply tab and we can type car, and if I tab again, I've got bus, plane, train, and finally other. I'm then going to add an extra option to allow people to manually write in what the other reason was. So 2 options available. I can press enter for question 2, and then using the drop down menu I can select that to be an other style question, and you can see that takes it back to being part of question 1. Or alternatively, if I just undo that, I can hold down my control key and press enter, and that will do exactly the same. We're expecting text to be input into this box, so we can make the box bigger or smaller using the control and then the plus or the minus key on my keyboard. I'll press enter for the next question. Question number 2 is going to be an open-ended question asking how much they spent getting here today. Again, I can use the control minus key on my keyboard to make the box smaller. At this stage, I'm going to right click on this question and go into the variable properties. This allows me to set a number of different options, including the fact that we're expecting a quantity response, so a number. And as we're expecting a monetary value, I'm also going to make use of the pattern and make use of the currency pattern. We have a few different patterns available to you. One which is expecting pound signs, dollars, or euro sign. You can also create your own patterns to allow for additional options. but today I'm going to make use of currency, which actually allows all three. And click OK. Question number 3 is going to be a series of grid questions. So I will choose grid first, which will give me the opening text of how would you rate your journey experience. I can press tab for my answers, so I have very poor, tab again I've got poor, etc, etc. And then I'll just click or arrow down to get to my grid label, so the first sub question, which will be price. I'll then go back to using my tab key to type in the remaining sub questions. So convenience, punctuality, and finally comfort. Question 4 and 5 are going to be demographic questions, gender and age, so I could add them in using a single choice question style, but today I'm going to make use of the reference library. This is a library of questions which comes supplied with Snap. Again, you can also create your own library, and you notice we've got a number of different topics available, so I'm going to click on the gender topic, and it allows us to drag a question over, and I can either drop that question above question 4, below question 4, or in my case today I'm going to replace question 4. I'll then do the same for the age question, this time dropping it below. My final question of the survey is going to be an open-ended comment question. So do you have any additional comments? And as we're probably expecting a little bit more text, I'm going to increase the size of my box using the Control plus or minus. So there's my basic questionnaire designed. I'll take the opportunity to save at this stage, and then we're going to head into Snap Online to put the finishing touches to the survey. You will see that Snap has recognised that there's been changes between Snap Desktop and Snap Online, so to synchronise these I can either click this icon or simply closing the survey will synchronise your survey automatically. If I now go and log into Snap Online, you can see we have 2 servers available. And you will notice the structure of my folders in Snap Online matches the structure of my folders in Snap Desktop. So let's open up my survey, and we're going to go straight into the Collect tab. And the first thing I'm going to do is go into Change Options and activate Running Partial Responses. So this allows you to keep a track of anyone that has given up your survey partway through. So this might highlight that you have some badly worded questions, perhaps offensive questions, or perhaps highlights the fact that maybe your survey's too long and people are simply giving up because they've run out of time. Obviously there is a lot more we can and will do in the follow-up videos to this one, but I'm going to go ahead and publish the current survey. We have a preview link which allows you to view the survey as it will look when it's live. It does give you a warning telling you that this is indeed just a preview and as such the data will not be collected. But it allows us to go through and see how the survey reacts. But if I go back into Snap Online, you can see we also have a QR code automatically generated. This allows you to copy and paste that into sort of literature. So someone with a phone can simply scan the QR code and be taken straight into the survey. The actual survey link is here, and we have the option to edit the end of the URL to make it a little bit more friendly. So I'm just going to overtype that with travel. And we also have the option to download the PDF version of the survey. But for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and simply start the interviewing. So there we have a survey very quickly designed in Snap Desktop. We've made it live in Snap Online, and now we're ready for people to start completing it and for us to start collecting data. I will just quickly take you back into Snap Desktop, and if I refresh the screen, you can see it recognises the survey has started. If I double click to open the survey back up, you'll see that although we designed the survey as an online survey, and specifically one which is more suitable for a PC or laptop, so something with a good sized screen in mind, as we saw a moment ago, there is also a paper edition of the survey, but there's also a tablet and a phone edition. So the tablet edition is flexible, so it will all resize itself depending on whether someone's made their tablet portrait or landscape. And then we have a phone edition, which actually changes the type of questions. So for example, your grid questions all become drop down menus, so people just scroll up and down. Using the publish icon, I could actually preview the survey in desktop to see how it would look potentially on a phone or a tablet or on a PC. Alternatively, I can take the live preview link and actually try that on different devices as well. Just to finish off, if I decide that I now wish to make a change to my survey, so today I'm going to pop question 4 on a separate page. So I'm just going to right click and insert a page break and save that. If I now synchronize my changes and log back into Snap Online, I'll just refresh the screen. You can see Snap has recognised that a change has been made, so I simply pause the questionnaire, republish the new version, ideally go and test that preview. Again, it is just a preview, and we can see question 4 is now on the next page. Do remember, of course, to go back and resume the interviewing. Okay, so there's my basic survey setup. Join me in the next video where we're going to be showing you how to add some logic to the survey, putting in skip patterns, otherwise known as routing, along with some of the other validation options.